You probably remember the explosions, the bow, the knife, and the legend of John Rambo. But here's the surprising truth. The movie that created one of the most famous action heroes in history was never meant to feel heroic at all. In fact, the first version of First Blood was so dark that the man audiences would later cheer for was originally supposed to die. When First Blood arrived in 1982, it didn't look like the beginning of a massive action franchise. The story was smaller, quieter, and far more tragic. John Rambo wasn't introduced as a superhero. He was a drifting Vietnam veteran, carrying invisible scars from a war most people wanted to forget. When he wandered into a small town, all he found was suspicion and hostility. Sheriff Will Teasel treated him like a problem that needed to disappear. And that simple confrontation ignited a manhunt that spiraled into chaos. But behind the scenes, the film itself was almost a disaster. The first rough cut reportedly ran over 3 hours, and even Sylvester Stallone thought the movie might destroy his career. The pacing was messy, the tone confusing, and the emotional core buried under endless dialogue. Stallone later admitted he was so disappointed that he considered buying the film back just to stop it from ever being released. Instead, he made a bold decision. He sat in the editing room and started cutting, scene after scene, a line after line, until the film dropped to under 100 minutes. That brutal editing process transformed the movie into the tense survival story audiences know today. And then there was the ending. The version people remember ends with Rambo collapsing in tears while Colonel Troutman comforts him. It's raw, emotional, and deeply human. But the original filmed ending was far darker. In that version, Rambo begs Troutman to end his life. A gunshot echoes. Rambo dies. No sequel, no legend. Just a tragic soldier destroyed by war. Test audiences rejected it immediately, forcing the filmmakers to rewrite the finale. That single change altered the future of the entire franchise. Even the casting almost went in a completely different direction. Before Richard Crenna became the calm and compassionate Colonel Troutman, the role was offered to Kirk Douglas. Douglas loved the script, but insisted the ending follow the novel, meaning Rambo had to die. Stallone refused. The disagreement grew so intense that Douglas left the project only days before filming. Crenna stepped in at the last minute and ended up creating one of the most memorable mentor characters in action film history. And the chaos didn't stop there. During filming in Hope, British Columbia, thieves broke into a truck and stole around $50,000 worth of prop weapons. Suddenly, the production turned into a real police investigation. To protect the remaining equipment, the Canadian military was brought in to guard the set. Yet perhaps the most surprising fact about the film is this. Despite the explosions and violence, Rambo never intentionally kills anyone in First Blood. The only death happens when a deputy falls from a helicopter during the pursuit. Stallone fought hard for that choice. He wanted Rambo to be seen not as a monster, but as a wounded soldier pushed too far. Maybe that's why the story still resonates today. Because underneath the action, First Blood wasn't really about war. It was about what happens when a society forgets the people who fought for it. And sometimes the most powerful heroes in movies aren't the ones who win battles, but the ones who are simply trying to survive them.